Hello, Facebook. How are you? Hey, we had a little traction on that last video. Finally, we had a few people comment on it, so I wanted to touch on the subject that came out of it. My friend Herbert, I'm sorry, Herbert, had to mention, well, you're on Facebook anyway, so they see your name if they go down to the video. My friend Herbert brought up an interesting thing. He was talking about, and hello Dorothy. Herbert brought up an interesting thing in pursuing destiny, and when to be content, when not to be content. Is the destiny you're pursuing God's destiny for your life? Is what Herbert was saying in a nutshell. And how do you know if the destiny that you were pursuing and praying for and fasting and you really thought you heard from God, but it just hasn't worked out, so to speak? I challenge us to think of it this way. It just doesn't look the way you thought it was going to look. And I think one of the things that the enemy uses in our head, and I really don't like referring to the enemy, so to speak, since we have all authority. But one of the thoughts that comes to our head is that because it doesn't look the way I thought it was going to look, therefore we're not walking in our destiny. I remember back in 95, 96 when I got saved, and I fell on my knees and in a men's group at Cottonwood Christian Center, it said, I don't know if I'm saved or not. My relationship started with the Lord back when I was 6 years old, but I was just being baptized. I didn't have understanding of what salvation was. So actually following the Lord, so to speak, it was really 95, 96. That's when it all started. And then everything started falling apart, but I've always been a goal setter. And when I look back on my goals, I've actually accomplished all the goals, not all, but the majority of the goals that I've set up. But I'm not wealthy. But I've written a book. I actually have a second book coming out, and I'm going to need your help on that. I guess I kind of promoted myself there, didn't I? But anyway, it's still on flash drive here. Flash drive. But it is there. But anyway, I've written a book. I've taken a missionary trip. I've preached in the streets. I've co-pastored a couple of churches. Actually, I was assistant pastor at a couple of churches. I've started a couple of businesses, but it didn't turn out, and it didn't look the way that I thought my goals would look. Still would like to get married. I can't figure out how to attract my wife for some reason. But it didn't look the way it didn't look. But that doesn't mean I'm not accomplishing my destiny. Even doing something like this is a major part of my destiny, because I'm getting a chance to express myself based upon the gifts and the talents that God is giving me. I have a meeting once a month where I speak into the lives of people, and so on and so forth. Does it look the way I thought it would look? No. But I have an appreciation, I believe I have an appreciation for the steps that I've taken and the things that I've accomplished here on this earth, even though it doesn't look the way that I initially thought it would look. I think one of the things that can slow us down is that we get discouraged because it doesn't look the way you think it's going to look. And so you stop moving towards your destiny because you get discouraged, and you could be reading the word, praying, fasting, and what have you. But you get discouraged because things don't look the way you think they should look. Things don't look the way you think they should look. But things may be going according to the plan that God has for your life. But the minute you take your foot off the gas, I think what happens is you fall into a place of despair and hopelessness because you don't know what to do, because your expectations of what you should have do not meet the reality of what it really is. And it's interesting, people can look at you and say wow, and you're on the inside you're still unsatisfied because you're striving. Is one reason, I think. What do you think? Give me your feedback. That's my opinion.